of the unit is to separate the gas and clean it as much as you possibly can, and to get as much interface in your oil and your water as you possibly can. The whole idea is to ship everything off bottom. So we're scrubbing the gas several times throughout the unit. When we come in through the inlet diverter, I don't want to get into the exact details of how it works. We could be here all day, but when it comes into the inlet diverter, we're going to get things to start separating immediately. And we're going to try and get that inlet diverter to take a lot of the wear and a lot of the brunt and the force as it comes in through the unit. So we can start there and look at that. Every time we change sizes, we start off at a 3-inch and then we size up to a 4-inch. That creates a pressure drop. Pressure drops are good because pressure drops allow for things to separate a little easier. You know what I mean? It slows things down a little bit. So we go from 3 to 4 right away. And then this whole bracket holds everything, because if you're a guy on site, you're by yourself, or even if you have another guy, each one of these weigh a couple 100 pounds. This section weighs a couple 100 pounds. That 90 right there weighs a couple 100 pounds. They're really, really thick. They're built for high abrasion, high wear, because as soon as everything comes in, you're carrying a lot of sand right off the bat. So that's why this bracket's the way it is, to hold every little piece so one guy's not killing himself trying to put it together. So you're going to have a pressure drop. You're going to go through, have another pressure drop right at the 90 there. That pressure drop right before the 90 helps with slowing down the flow a little bit so it doesn't have as much abrasion on it. And then you're going to drop inside. Inside there's another pressure drop on the inlet diverter. And then we try and knock as many heavies as we can out as soon as it enters the vessel. Typically your heads are a little thicker, so when you buy them, it's better to have your wear zone on your head than on your shell, because it's a lot thicker. You get that additional corrosion allowance without even having to ask for it. So that's the way that's set up. Then you have several weir systems throughout there where we're pulling sand 3 times. We're pulling sand so that way we can dump it, dispose of it, whatever they're going to do with it. But you can run off each side. You're not stuck with run it off of one side or whatever, or run it off just one sand dump. Sometimes they'll pack off. So you need to have several different ways you can blow down. So that's the point there, is you can blow down or close one and open the other. And if this side packs off, or if that valve fails, you have a double redundancy. You can go and run either side. You've got an entrance manway here and just a vent manway there. Pressure gauges and pressure ports on the outside so you can monitor your unit. We don't enclose the whole unit, because if the whole unit was enclosed, it gets too hot. It's too hard to work around. These manways are extremely heavy, and the bolts and all that. And if you were to enclose it, you can see the building. We have to stay within DOT regs, so you wouldn't have much room to get in and work around it if we enclosed. So this is the internals have a forced separation design in it. So meaning a lot of styles are just like a stinger style, where there's tubes coming up from the bottom, and those tubes just allow for gravity to do the separation. When you're running a lot of volume and high velocity through this tank, you can't allow gravity to just be your only force, because it just can't keep up. So you got to force things through. That's why in this unit we have a secondary system that separates out the foam. A lot of times units don't suck the foam out. This one will take the foam out as well. So not only are we separating sand, water, oil, gas, we're also taking the foam out. A lot of times what will happen, if that gas running through the top there and you got all that foam in there, the gas will start picking the foam up and sending that foam back down the line. So everything you did was then kind of voided because you picked that foam back up. So then you have to run it through a heater treater, a dehy, because if the higher the entrained gas, the longer the retention time, the longer the separation you have to have. So you have to slow that velocity down and put all that foam and that entrained gas into a heater treater or a dehy or something to try and get that entrained gas taken care of. So if you don't have to do that, if this system kind of keeps that gas from getting entrained and you're burning clean fuel and you have high BTUs on your gas, you're not emitting any emissions. You have high BTUs, which means that you got good clean gas coming through and you can go to sales a lot faster. So you're not sitting on site for 40 days, you can cut that time down. You know, you can get that well cleaner faster. Now, yeah, your day rate's going to go down, but your reputation's going to go up. Well, I should say your day rate's going to go down. The days you are there are going to go around. Your day rate's going to go up and your reputation's going to go up. It's just a water level controller. It just controls the water. So there's separate chambers. There's a water chamber and an oil chamber. So water's forced into this chamber through pressure. So that gas on the top pocket forces water down into this chamber. As you know, that oil is lighter than water, so water's going to be towards the bottom of your unit. So you try to suck as much sand out of the unit as you can, so by the time you get to the water, you have it clean. Our units, these are our sight glasses. Our sight glasses aren't put in yet, but our sight glasses and our units typically stay sand free. And the reason is we've got all that sand out of there before it gets into the water body. Sand is bad. Sand tears up your equipment, tears up your valves. You don't want sand anywhere in this system. So the more separation, the better separation you have on getting that sand out, the cleaner unit it's going to operate, and the longer your valves are going to last. Yeah, granted, you can charge the operator for every valve that fails, but is he going to hire you if every time you go out there your valves are failing and they got to buy you new valves every time? So this unit has been able to ship everything off the bottom, meaning they didn't have a lot of stuff they just had to throw away. They could send everything down line. They were able to get good enough separation. They could send the water to their facilities and clean the water. They could send the oil down. Some of it could go straight to sales, and then gas could go straight to sales.